They
They
have
sit
some
right next to
difficulties
you.
getting going, and they had some personal family
I see.
problems with medical issues
No,
and
that's
stuff
Jeremy's
like that.
Okay.
So
Right there.
their business, although they
Jeremy's
already,
here.
they've already set up an LLC. So they're, I says, but you need to get somebody, and I made sure that they had.
Pretty large crowd.
Their,
Oh, this is for me to keep? Oh, okay, well, thank you very much.
their check, I made sure that they had to keep their money segregated from the business.
Okay, good.
And a separate checking account, and I don't get a checking, or a credit card, you go on a debit card, whichever,
Right.
for the business.
If they're out on the
Yeah.
road or something buying
Yep.
supplies, yep,
Yeah,
yep,
yeah,
good.
It happens.
Right.
And I said, just so it flows through that same account, checks written out for that account.
Oh, yes.
For those
So
things.
we'll just do the same.
Just keep the money, so
Open it up to
then
the
when you go see that, you,
Comment.
all zero, put the taxes
Make
together.
my
for
job
them.
easier, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what would be easier. I really encourage these people to learn.
Keep their comments to a minute.
They really, most of them don't have time.
Yeah, yeah, and they're interested in their business and not the
Yeah.
bookkeeping part.
And quite honestly, I don't want them to take time away from what helps their business,
Yeah.
just to try to do bookkeeping. That's why I tell them to outsource it now, right now, and let somebody else who knows how to do it.
Yeah.
do it
Well, I
properly.
sure appreciate that referral.
No problem. I'm glad, I hope they come to get that, because I guarantee you, tax time, they're gonna want that stuff all brought up to date. Nice thing about QuickBooks, you can download it all onto our thumb drive and
Do
they
have
get
minutes.
the tax
Can
guys
I put
and
minutes on the
Right.
agenda?
they can do it right. and probably
Been doing a lot of stuff lately.
duplicate the tax return form.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
There are
I don't
minutes
know.
in here.
It's your.
Could you approve those?
I know enough about QuickBooks to be dangerous. I have done school and done budgeting on it and cash flows and stuff like that. I'll look at cash flow sheet, forecasts on QuickBooks.
Yeah, there's some things on QuickBooks that I don't like. Some things I like, some things I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
I actually think it's gone a little bit downhill. I think it peaked at about 2008 or 9.
Oh, really?
That's, yeah, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Do I need to use my gavel to start the meeting?
Yeah, yeah, I think they want
I
me.
apologize. You have a quorum?
We just have, yes, it's 2 out of 3.
All right.
Thanks.
See you tonight. Yeah, it's good to see you. Say hi to Marty.
Okay, I'll do that.
Steve, we did not get a copy of the minutes, so I want you to review those real quick from the last meeting.
Okay,
We'll start this. As soon as you read those, we'll start
okay.
the meeting. We're gonna call to order the meeting of the Warsaw Redevelopment Authority, September 24th, 2018. Are there any, is there any unfinished business? I don't. Okay, the new business, and this is also the public hearing, the Warsaw Redevelopment Authority. So if any members of the public has a comment, they can stand up and we'll acknowledge them. First item is a resolution 2018-0902.
Yes, so the first resolution you have is the same that the Warsaw Redevelopment Commission approved earlier today, which is the authorization and issuance of the lease rental revenue series 2018. So in essence, the resolution is approving the authorization of that bond and the lease agreement, which is also in your packet, four signatures. You'll have the first signing and then you'll have a second signing once the finalized dollar amounts are put in once the bond is issued. But this is basically just authorizing that execution of that lease rental revenue bond. Andy is here. I can't remember if we went through the financials with Redevelopment Authority or not. I know we did the, so if you would like him to run through the numbers with you, certainly we can do that. If you feel comfortable. I know, George, you've seen him a couple of times.
I've seen him a couple of times.
But I know Steve probably hasn't, so it's up to you, Steve, if you want.
Yeah, I would. I don't wanna
No,
delay the meeting any longer than
Well,
what it
that's
needs to
why he's
be.
here.
No,
He came
that's
all the way
fine.
from.
Okay.
We'll
I
get-
might as well put him to work then.
might as well put it in work.
I'm glad to go through them, and I can be fairly quick too. You've got copies still.
Is that what you give me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I'll just kind of quickly go through these. These numbers represent our current estimate of what the bond issue might look like, but these are certainly still estimates until the bonds are actually sold here later this year. So I'll just kind of start on page 2. Takes a look at the sources and uses of the bonds. Right around 7.3 million would be the amount available for construction for the sewer improvements and for the road improvements. You'd also be funding a debt service reserve fund. So these bonds would be payable from tax increment from your northern area, from your eastern area, and then from the new area being added to the areas. And then in order to get the lowest interest rates on the bonds, the best rating on the bonds will be further backed by property taxes. So that debt service reserve is just a cushion in case the TIF was ever short in a year until you'd have time to get a property tax levied. That provides extra cushion. So that's just something investors in the rating agency look for. And then that's money that will sit in an account, invested, can earn interest over the life of the bonds. And then when you get to that final year payment, that money will be used to make the final year payment on the bonds rather than using TIF. And then the other various issuance costs of the bonds get you a total bond issue right around 6.1 million, which in your resolution this evening you'd be approving a maximum of $7 million. But we certainly don't anticipate issuing that full $7 million unless it's needed. So, and then the Redevelopment Commission's also planning to use right around $2 million cash on hand to keep the borrowing down to that $6.1 million level. Page 3 takes a look at the proposed amortization schedule. So this is over the 25-year life of the bonds. Again, based on estimated interest rates. These interest rates could certainly change until the bonds are sold, but we think that these are an accurate representation of where the market is and certainly have some cushion built in as well. So you can see on the shortest maturity, about 6 months out, the interest rate would be 1.9% fixed, all the way out to that 25-year maturity at 4.3%. So overall, your net interest cost would average out to right around a 3.75% fixed for a 25-year financing. And then if you look on the far right column, that shows what the annual lease payments that'll be made in order to make the debt service payments on the bonds are. So you can see debt service or the lease rentals right around $400,000 through the first 8 or 9 years of the bonds. It peaks around 620,000 or so, and then it declines in later years, and that just has to do with the outstanding debt that's also payable from those TIF areas, as well as the lives of the TIF areas as pieces of it begin to expire. So page 4 kind of brings all of it together, showing the current TIF revenues being generated, and then all the outstanding debt obligations that are payable from the northern area. So you can see the first, or really the second column, right after the year column, shows your northern TIF area, TIF revenues, right around $2.6 million in 2018, and that's based on development that's already complete, already in the ground, and already paying taxes. And that amount's expected to grow slightly to about 2.8 million in 2029, and then portions of the area start to expire after that, so it'll drop to about 400 or just under 500,000, and then a little over 200,000 through 2037. Your eastern area is listed right next to that, and that consists mainly of the Meyer and some of the development around the mire, right around $400,000, and shown to stay fairly level going forward through the life of the bonds. So together, the northern and eastern areas generate just under $3 million currently. That should peak right around $3.2 million, assuming no new growth. Any new growth would certainly be on top of these numbers. And then you see it start to decline in the later years as portions of the TIF area expire. And the Redevelopment Commission currently uses TIF from the northern area to pay the 2000 Medtronic bonds, the 2012 Warsaw Commons bonds, and then the 2013, 2013A, and 2015 Winona PBD bonds. And then also there's a pledge of $600,000 annually towards the sewage bonds, and we anticipate that that pledge will be extended with the new treatment plant project. And then you can see the 2018 bonds, so your total debt service compared to your total TIF revenues being generated, if you look at that very far right column, is right around 2 times coverage. So for every dollar of debt payments you have right around $2 of TIF already being generated, which leaves extra money for the Redevelopment Commission for pay-as-you-go projects on an annual basis, and then also just that coverage to make sure you have the TIF to make those payments and you're not actually having to levy a property tax in the future. And then I'll just quickly go through page 5. This just shows the breakout of the city's northern and eastern TIF areas, the various components. The northern TIF area was set up in 1999 with a 30-year life, was expanded in 2002 with a 30-year life, 2011 with a 25-year life, and then 2012 with a 25-year life. So you can see there are different components that expire in different years as those 25 and 30-year lives expire. And then also the personal property, manufacturing equipment from Medtronic and from Winona PBD is captured, and the capture of those goes through 2029 for Medtronic and 2037 for Winona PBD. And then over to the right, the eastern area was set up in 2012 with a 25-year life, but that 25-year life doesn't start until bonds payable from the eastern TIF are issued. So with issuing these bonds, that'll begin the 25-year life on the bond, or on the eastern area, and that TIF will be collected all the way out through 2042. And then not shown on this page, but also the new expansion, so that northern area and the eastern area are being consolidated through the area where the sewers are being installed, and that new expansion TIF area will have its own 25-year life as well. We haven't shown that here just because we didn't want to speculate on any new growth in our numbers. This is all based on development that's already complete. And then the pages behind that just show the detail that flows back into this TIF schedule, showing your current 2018 TIF collections, your estimated 2019 based on preliminary information from the auditor's office, and then the only growth we've assumed in these numbers is the roll-off of existing tax abatements and the development of a couple of the mire outlots, but it's all fairly minor. As you can see here, we're not really assuming much growth above your current 2018 collections.
Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah, are we just issuing one bond, or could it be more bonds?
This project will just be issued as one series of bonds. So we will
Okay.
go out on one day to the market and sell the full 6.1 or $7 million, wherever the final number ends up being, but we'll go out and open that bidding for usually about a half an hour, and then have banks and underwriters able to submit bids, and then we'll take a look at of those various bids received, the lowest interest rate on the bonds. So
And is it a 25-year bond, or,
correct.
Okay.
25-year financing.
and is that a fixed rate, or?
Yes, it'll be a fixed rate.
Okay.
So those rates you see on page 3, how they range from 1.9 to 4.3, those are all fixed rates. Just typically investors, on a 6-year maturity are going to require a lower rate than someone
Right.
on a 25-year maturity. But overall, those rates will all be fixed. And based on these estimates, your net interest rate will be right around 3.75.
Okay.
Of course, if you ever you have questions about anything, you could free to call Jeremy or Andy and find out, answer your questions.
Okay. Do you have a business card?
Yeah.
Well, with that,
Great, thank you.
oh, we'll open up the public portion of this hearing, and if there's anyone here who wants to ask questions from the public, we will open it up to that. With that, we will, hearing no questions or comments, we will close the public portion of the hearing. And I will entertain a motion on that 2018-09-02.
But I move that we approve the, I don't have that in front of me, the resolution. I should have printed that out from my email. Resolution 2018-09-02.
Okay. I will second that. And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion, resolution passed 2-0. It was unanimous.
Second resolution, 2018-09-03. Basically, this is approving the transfer of that property into the redevelopment authority's purview. And then at such time that the bond is expired, it will be transferred back to the city of Warsaw. So you're basically taking ownership of those roads where the sanitary sewer will be put down, and then it will be transferred back to the city at the end of the project.
Okay. So we need a motion to approve this?
It's a public hearing, so George will open it up, and then
We'll open it up to the public portion of the hearing. If anyone here to comment or ask questions about this, we'll entertain those at this time. Hearing none, we'll close the public portion of the hearing, and I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve Resolution 2018-09-03.
I will second that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passed unanimously. And the lease agreement, this is next.
the lease agreement was just part of that O2. I just wanted it in your packets, so. that
Did you get this? You can have that. 'cause
I
have
did,
no-
Kim emailed it to me, so
Okay.
I think I've got this. The
Yes.
lease agreement, yeah, I've got
So
that.
you'll sign that first part of the lease agreement as you approved in the O2 resolution, and then once the numbers are finalized, you'll come back and finalize that
Okay.
lease agreement.
Yeah, I just didn't print mine out.
Okay.
And I don't have anything else come before you unless you guys have any questions or.
Do you have any questions, further questions?
Andy already answered mine, we were talking before the meeting.
Okay, yeah, and I thought that was good. Mike had some good questions, so. Well, hearing that there are no other questions or anything, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Okay, meeting finished.
Got some things for you to sign. I will have to, I'll get with
I have a
Randy.
pen here.
Oh, there you go.
I'll get with Randy. I'm not sure how he wants to have, whether he wants Max to sign it when he gets back, or if he wants someone else to sign it, but I'll double check with him.
Yeah.